Will and Grace stars open up about 2017 reboot. Will and Grace, new series trailer. The gang is back together and better than ever when Will and Grace returns. July 5, 2017. A month ago this is happening again. The hotly anticipated Will and Grace reboot is just a month away from airing, and Debra Messing, who plays Grace, is grinning from ear to ear. Yesterday when we were together to do a table read, we couldn't stop laughing, she smiles. And Megan Mullally's character, Karen, was touching my breasts and making honking noises. It was like, we're back. Evidently, not everyone is thrilled. The sequel to the series, which ran from 1998 to 2006, has some die-hard fans worried it won't be up to snuff. Messing obviously disagrees. Well, I'm an optimist, and we're all putting our money on us. Our fans who loved us will tune in, and that there's going to be a whole new generation of Will and Grace fans who weren't around when we first came out. The gang is back. Picture, Matt Winkelmere, Getty Images. It makes sense to me that some people would be concerned. We were incredibly lucky to have a fan base that was passionately connected to this show. The LGBT comedy was groundbreaking for its time. Many people came up to us and said, "You helped us come out to our family, you helped our family heal." It has meaning to it beyond just being a successful show that made people laugh, she says. And, look, I'm sure that people are scared that it won't hold up. After so many years later, they wonder if we still have the same chemistry? Do we still have stories to tell? When I mention this to Sean Hayes, who plays the over-the-top flamboyantly gay Jack, he quips, "Which fans are worried? What are their names?" Messing assures that the fans have nothing to fear. Getting together, the four of us, it was really like coming home again, and that's how we all felt. We have more fodder for comedy, especially in this political climate. The cast feels that the Trump era is a timely setting for their return. In fact, the anti-Trump skit they performed in September during last year's presidential elections is what spawned the new series. Eric McCormack says, "That got the ball rolling because people's reaction was so positive. And now, with human rights and civil rights being in question again, all of a sudden there is danger to this subject again, and it's dangerous for people to be who they are," he says. What's interesting is that some of the jokes which would have been old hat in 2006 are fresh again and will feel risky. Messing adds, "And in this political climate we all need a laugh." The four of them look remarkably youthful. In fact, it's hard to believe that more than a decade has passed. I think if we all aged considerably, it wouldn't look right. Everyone would have said, "Oh, that's cute. Let's move on." But we look the same. I think if one of us had aged badly and the other three hadn't, that would have been a problem. They all look remarkably the same. Source Instagram. And what about the changes that has occurred in the last 11 years off screen? McCormack says, "Well, Debra is a mum, and now divorced, and I'm a dad. That makes us different people." Sean has become such a prolific producer, he says. He was the kid when he started, and he still is the youngest, and yet in some ways, he is kind of daddy right now. He is taking care of us in ways that we don't even know because he is connected, behind the scenes, with NBC. He has become patriarchal, which is kind of amazing. And Megan, she weighs 11 pounds now and has just become this gorgeous little thing. She's changed because of her great marriage to Nick, a Furman. When we first met, Megan dressed in black and she was very downtown. Now she's a very happy woman. Mullally offers, yes, but I am so immature. Messing watches reruns of the show with her 13-year-old son, but McCormack's 15-year-old son isn't as enthusiastic. There was a Will and Grace marathon on Thanksgiving last year and my one, who hasn't seen much of the show, said to me, "Are you just going to watch yourself on TV all day?" He laughs. What goes through McCormack's mind when he watches his younger self on the award-winning show? First season, mostly horror, he smiles. It took me a while. I don't think that was true for everybody else, but for me, it took me a while to find what was funny about Will. He was very accommodating to the other characters and really had some lovely cute lines, but I hadn't found his anxiety yet. And once I did, I had a lot more fun. Hayes says, I have really missed Jack. I don't really catch the show in reruns. It's a very surreal feeling and I am separated from it as a person, but I feel as much of a fan of this show as other people are. When the show wrapped the final episode in 2006, Messing admits she was devastated. She says her trip to Australia to shoot The Starter Wife was the perfect pick-me-up. I worked on the Gold Coast and I remember feeling like I wanted to live there. It was somewhere I knew I could be happy. I remember being stunned by the sun because of the ozone. The thing that really struck me. When I was growing up, there was that famous commercial of a fried egg, and they said, "This is your brain on drugs." And in Australia it was, "This is your skin without sunscreen." And I was like, what? It was amazing, she laughs. I only have incredibly wonderful memories.